So I am currently in Iroquois Park in Louisville, Kentucky, and this park is the location of at least one urban legend that involves some type of ghost story. So I figured I would come up here during the daytime and check things out and see what it looks like in the light, and then also come back at nighttime and do some investigating when it's dark. So the urban legend around Iroquois Park is that there is a ghost woman who was allegedly somebody who lived here in the 1800s before this was all turned into a park for the city. There was a woman who lived with her husband in some type of cabin or house up here at this area that at the top of the park that, you know, is now where the overlooks are. And the areas that the sightings allegedly take place of this ghost are kind of over here heading towards the north outlook. And the story is that this woman's husband went on a trip and left her alone, and while he was gone, there was an attack on their cabin, and different versions of the story have different parts that people keep in it. You know, the woman, you know, the story is that Native Americans attacked their house, killed the woman. Some versions say they also killed her dog first, and that they killed her and beheaded her and then burned the cabin. And then the story is that, you know, up here somewhere at the top of the park, you'll see the ghost woman holding her own head in her hands. And sometimes there are claims that people see smoke or smell fire, or see, you know, fog. And you know, the idea that it was Native Americans being, you know, the stories would have started theoretically at some point in the 1800s, or I'm not really sure when those stories first really started being told. That's pretty in line with the kind of stuff I'm sure people would have thought back then, even if it was completely wrong, and just kind of, you know, digging into, you know, being anti-Native American and just digging into kind of tropes. I mean, if this actually did happen, there's every possibility that, you know, if it really happened, that it could have been, you know, somebody they knew, or somebody that was jealous of the man and the woman, or, you know, wanted her or something, that did that and then used that as a cover story to kind of make it all go away and stop the investigations. Because, you know, when there's easy narratives like that to grasp onto, people definitely do. And it could all just be completely made up. Oh, you know, or like I said, it could have been something that really happened, but somebody just kind of blamed it on Native Americans to get away with whatever it is they did. So what I'll do is I'll kind of walk around at some areas at the top of the park, and then come back here later at night and see what it all looks like in the dark. So this building is called Jacob's Lodge, and I think years ago in the early days of the park, it was some type of administration building or something. But, you know, as far as I can remember, it was just a covered area that you could use for picnics or parties or things, but it's in pretty rough shape, so I'm not really sure the last time anybody would have used it for that, because it's got some holes in the roof and not doing so hot. And the park was developed in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So, you know, it's been around for over 100 years in use as a park. But I guess theoretically at some point people lived up here, which is kind of interesting to think about. But that would have been the case for a very long time. And the urban legend is, you know, supposedly people lived here in the 1800s. So if that really happened, it would have had to have been, I assume, a bit before they bottle this land and turn it into a park. There's a lot of tall grown-up grass in this field, which I know that they've done different programs where they actually have goats come in here and eat some of the vegetation, which I would love to be up here when that happened. And I know somewhere up here there's like a pond. It may just be from rainwater or something. Well, here's a pavilion. I guess theoretically you could come up here and use it to have an event or something. And I don't personally know anyone who claims to have seen a ghost up here. It's only ever really been told to me as the, kind of urban legend story that someone else saw it. But I've never really sourced any individual person that claimed they had seen anything up here. Again, doesn't mean that nobody has, just... and I couldn't really find any solid proof about people living up here at some point either. It's hard to find records from stuff that would have been, 200 years ago. But, at the top of the park, there's all this vegetation and trees and fields. And then there are the outlooks on both ends of the park. We can kind of look out over the city. Since it's the middle of summer and everything's nice and grown up, it's a little bit more difficult to see out and see as much. So you get a little bit better view in the fall and the winter. So this is one of the bodies of water that's back here, at least. So I know that there's this one. Looks kind of gross. Some standing water, probably a lot of nasty stuff in there. I think there's another one somewhere too that I need to see if I can find. So this is the north outlook. That looks out over the city of Louisville, Kentucky. Way off in the distance is downtown Louisville. You can see it. And then it just gives you a view into different parts of the city. So this is the area that the ghost woman is said to appear, or one of the areas, people claim. I can hear a lot of road noise and music from down at the bottom of the park in the streets. So I think I'm actually going to go a little bit deeper into the woods over here before I try to do any EVPs or anything like that. So this is the Jacob's Lodge that I went through before with the red light. It's kind of creepy. I did something dumb. I recorded the star lapse earlier. Let the camera run for a few hours, and I forgot to bring the battery handle backup thing. So the battery's getting pretty low. And sometimes when it gets low, it'll start cutting the video up into a bunch of smaller clips and separating them out, I guess, in case it runs out of battery. So hopefully that won't impact things, or I may have to come back and record here again. So I guess being out here in the woods is about as good of a spot as any to see if we get some EVPs here or hear anything. So were there any women who were killed when they had a home up in this area? In the 1800s? Is there anybody? Is that a description of anybody? Was anybody killed by the, as the urban legend claims, Native Americans out here? Or was it somebody you knew that did it and used that as a cover story? Was it somebody that was not Native American? Was it somebody you knew that was like a white settler who did it or something? I think I heard something off in the distance here. Could just be an animal or something. There's a lot of stuff out here making noise. I guess I'll go in that direction and see what that was. So this is over in the area where I heard the sound. Oh, I guess gotta keep going. Sounds like it's not too far off. I'm wondering if it's some kind of animal, maybe? Guess we'll see if it's that or a ghost woman. It's getting kind of foggy through here.